The sun sets early in winter, and the world outside turns dark and cold. Long ago, before central heating, winter nights were a real test of survival. The cold crept into homes, chilling people to the bone. For the old, young or sick, a freezing night could be dangerous. Imagine lying in bed, feeling the chill seep through the floorboards, pulling your thin blankets tighter as the cold finds every gap. This was reality for nearly everyone in history, rich or poor, castle or cottage. There was no switch for instant heat. People had to be clever. They used simple, practical methods to create a bubble of warmth until morning. This knowledge was passed down through generations, making the difference between restful sleep and a night spent shivering. The silence of a cold house was deep, broken only by the wind and creaking wood. Your body was your only furnace, and the challenge was to trap its heat. Every bit of warmth was precious. People understood the cold as a powerful force of nature. Today we've forgotten much of this wisdom. In this video we'll rediscover how people kept warm in bed before central heating. We'll explore how they built their beds, chose their bedding, and arranged their blankets for maximum warmth. These old methods show the resourcefulness of our ancestors, and as you'll see, these techniques can still help us today. Let's step back in time and learn how to survive the long, cold night. How did people survive freezing nights? It wasn't one trick, but a system of simple ideas. They knew cold air sinks and your body produces heat. The goal was to keep that heat close. Every step was based on these principles. We'll learn why beds were high, what went under the body, and how they sealed in warmth. Think of it like dressing in layers for winter. Each layer traps air, keeping you warm. People applied this logic to their beds, building up insulation from the floor to the top blanket. This system was incredibly effective. It's not just history, it's practical wisdom. These principles can help you stay warm if your heating fails or you want to save energy. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. So, let's begin our journey into the past and uncover the secrets of a warm winter's night. All you need are simple materials and clever thinking. Let's get started. The first rule of staying warm was to get away from the floor. Cold air settles at the bottom, and a stone or dirt floor was freezing. Beds were raised high, not for fashion, but for warmth. Lifting the bed even a foot or two moved you into a warmer layer of air. The space under the bed created a buffer from the icy floor. Soldiers and travellers did the same, using straw or packs to get off the ground. This simple act of elevation was the foundation of a warm night's sleep. Without it, even piles of blankets wouldn't keep you warm. Raising the bed was the essential first step. Once the bed was raised, the next step was insulation from below. Most people used a thick straw mattress, cheap, effective, and full of trapped air. The straw slowed the cold from below, making a huge difference. Those who could afford it added a feather bed on top for even better insulation and comfort. Feathers trapped air and hugged the sleeper, creating a warm nest. Poorer families relied on straw alone, fluffing it up regularly. The key principle: insulate from below, or you'll lose heat no matter how many blankets you pile on top. This was the real foundation of a warm bed. With the bed raised and insulated, the next step was a tightly tucked sheet. After the mattress, a linen or wool sheet was laid down, then another on top, tucked in tightly to create a sealed envelope. This trapped a pocket of warm air right next to the body, stopping drafts and preventing heat from escaping. Soldiers and travellers knew that wrapping up tightly was more effective than piling on loose blankets. The goal was to stop air movement, trap the warmth, block the chill. This microclimate made every other blanket more effective. A simple, well-tucked sheet was a small action with a big impact. It was common knowledge, passed down through generations. Without this step, warmth would quickly escape. The undersheet barrier was a crucial part of the system. Next came the main insulating layers: blankets, quilts, and coverlets. People didn't just throw them on. They tucked them in tightly around the bed. This sealed in the warm air and blocked out drafts. The bed became a self-contained warm zone, with air inside staying warm for hours. Four-poster beds took this further, with curtains drawn to trap even more air. But anyone could use the tucking technique, even without fancy beds. The key was methodical tucking. Start at the top, work down the sides, and across the bottom. Every inch of blanket edge was secured. This transformed a pile of blankets into an efficient insulation system. It's like zipping up a coat instead of just draping it over your shoulders. The sealing is what made the insulation work. Even in the coldest rooms, this method kept people warm. Tucking was the secret weapon against the night chill. Even with all these layers, feet got cold first. Our ancestors knew warm feet meant a warmer body. They added extra blankets or old coats at the foot of the bed for double insulation. Bed warmers, metal pans with hot embers, or heated stones wrapped in cloth were used to pre-warm the sheets. These targeted solutions made a big difference. Wool socks, extra layers, and heated objects kept feet cozy. Protecting your feet was the final touch for a comfortable night's sleep. This wisdom is still useful today. If your bed is low, use risers to lift it away from the cold floor. Add a thick blanket or mattress topper under your fitted sheet for extra insulation. Use a top sheet and tuck it in tightly to create that first warm pocket. Layer several thinner blankets instead of one heavy one and tuck them in all around. Fold an extra blanket at the foot of the bed for your feet. Use a hot water bottle as a modern heated stone. These simple steps can keep you warm even in a cold room without turning on the heat. Old techniques, modern materials, same cozy results. Try it and feel the difference. Staying warm without central heating is a survival skill, not just a historical curiosity. For generations, this knowledge was essential. Today, we rely on technology and have forgotten these skills. Rediscovering them connects us to our ancestors and builds resilience. When you tuck in your blankets, you're repeating a ritual shared by people throughout history. Practice these methods, teach them to others, and keep the knowledge alive. It's about more than warmth. It's about self-reliance and working with nature. The principles are simple but powerful. Don't let this wisdom disappear. Learn it, use it, and pass it on. By honouring the past, we secure a warmer, more resilient future. Stay warm, and remember, sometimes the old ways are the best ways.